Welcome to Diving Deep. I'm your host, Crystal, and this is a place where we talk all things spirituality, self-help, and taboo. A safe space to have deeper, meaningful conversations and explore the nuances of life. Diving Deep welcomes everyone. Perfection isn't what is expected. Instead, what's valued here is the honoring of our truths, the deconstruction of social norms that don't serve our greatest good, and making changes to live a truly happy and authentic life. Now, if you're looking for a deep but keep it real type shit podcast, you've come to the right place. Let's get into it. Hello. Here we are, another episode of Diving Deep with your girl Yeska Cristal. Another day, not another dollar. Because I don't get paid for this podcast yet, but we're putting it out in the ether. By next year, I will be making some kind of money from here, and I need your help to share this podcast and share it on your stories, tag me, whatever the case, however you want to share, word of mouth, so I can build my audience and also build my opportunities or create opportunities for myself doing this podcast. Yes. So with that being said, I'm going to give you a little update on my life per usual. We just went to Pride Festival. It was amazing. It was such a good time. And as you guys know, I ended up performing, the main stage, of course. Ya tu sabes. But it was a lot of fun. Low key, I got a little nervous the day of the show. And it wasn't right literally until we performed. It was within like the last 15 minutes when I knew we were going to be up next. That's when it like kind of hit me. I'm like, ooh. And I just had to take some breath. I started wiggling. I told Faded, I was like, hey, let's do some arm waves and shit. So we did. But before that, I want to tell you a little context. Before that, I have been tapping. So you've heard me talk about tapping before on some other podcast episode, and I'm not a pro at this, so I'm not gonna butcher how it all works. Essentially, I'll give you a rundown. You tap different meridians, like your head right here by your eyes, your temples, your chin, and essentially what it does, it helps you rewire something. So you speak the story, like in the past, I've been afraid to be seen and heard, but that's not my story anymore. And today I choose this. And each statement you do, you tap a different meridian point, and it's supposed to help with that. And I can definitely say that it did something, because I felt like this time around performing, I felt so much calmer. And normally I have to drink, like have a few drinks or a couple drinks to shake off the nervousness. And granted, I was gonna have a drink beforehand, but I was too late. But it was just meant to be. And but I ended up performing. I felt great, and I felt like comfortable. Like I was supposed to be up there. I was like, maybe I'm gonna forget my words. Maybe this and this and that, and I'm not gonna know what to do. But I ended up just being like, you know what? This is where I'm meant to be. This is what I like doing. And so I did it. And also, my daughter Maxine, she was on the very front, of course. She was super excited. I have a video posted on my Instagram. She was just jumping up and down. She was very excited to see me perform. And that, I'm sure, helped me for sure, made me feel good. And it was my partner in the crowd. And it was just kind of low key vibes, because there was like the beer garden, there was a stands, there were some people sitting around, and I just felt very comfortable. I feel like it's a very good community to be a part of, and I'm proud to be LGBTQ plus community. But my first festival, to be honest, I told David, the director, is my first festival, Pride Festival, and I don't know why I've never been. I've never heard of the Pride Festival until this year, and I applied to, perform, and I got in. So I'm very happy and very thankful. Shout out to David. Shout out to Michelle, who was pretty much my performance manager, and all the team and what they do. They did an amazing job. It was great. Yeah, sadly, after our performance, baby just went downhill feeling sick. So we left, and then she started her crying and everything. And that was that. So right now I have a sick baby, but slowly but surely, she's getting better. I've been trying different methods to help her loosen up the mucus and everything because she can't breathe. And it sucks when babies are sick. It's just, you can only do so much because they can't really do anything for themselves. So that's just the shitty part. But hopefully by tomorrow she'll be a little bit better and breathe a little bit better. That's the biggest thing right now. Yes. And so also an update. I am in the middle of creating a another ebook. And this one was inspired because I did post on my TikTok how I've been on paid disability for, well, maternity leave essentially. And it's been now pretty much 6 months. No, it has been 6 months now. And people have been like, oh, how did you do it? What did you do? You got to tell me how, and this and that. And honestly, like, I've tried everything in my arsenal and everything that I can with my doctors and my appointments to be able to achieve the tenure, the AKA the amount of time I've been able to get paid for disability. And anyway, so I was like, you know what? Why not make an ebook and then just give people a rundown and give them ideas of what they can say or do when it's time for them to go on their maternity leave to take advantage and get the most money, essentially. Being a mom is a full-time job. It is a job that we don't get rewarded enough for. I mean, we raise these humans that pay into, the society and our government and, essentially like the government's little money makers. And I feel like we deserve, and it's not just about that, obviously. It's a bit very, very important job to raise humans and good, decent humans. So so yeah, that kind of sparked my interest. I went down the rabbit hole, and then I also found other people that were consulting, but people are charging like $300, $1,000, and it's not like anything crazy compared to the amount that you're gonna get back. Like you're gonna get thousands by doing these extensions and stuff. I get it, but I was like, you know what, this should be more accessible, like to everybody, right? I don't feel like you need to have hundreds of dollars or consult somebody. You can just literally read this little guide and you'll be good, and then the rest is up to you and honestly, ultimately your doctor. So I will be having that. The hope is by Sunday, be dropping that. And yeah, if you're interested in how to maximize your earnings for maternity leave, I will keep you posted and you stay posted. And yeah, I'll have that out this Sunday sometime. I am currently working on it. So whenever I finish it, I'll have it ready. But with that being said, today's episode is going to be all about something important. Uh, Also made another post on TikTok, and it was regarding spanking. And before I get into this, y'all, I do have my 9-year-old here with me in the room. So if you hear things, it's her. I've told her to, try to keep it down, but she wants to see mama work. So she is gracing us with her supervising presence. And we're trying to get this episode done before baby wakes up. Okay, anyway, continuing. I did make a post on TikTok about spanking children. Like, I said something along the lines of like, if it's 2026, if you're still spanking your children, there's something wrong or there's something to look at there. And I know it's kind of like a loaded statement, and I knew it was going to ruffle some feathers or, some type of way. But I was like, I've been thinking about this and seeing people, and I'm like, I got spanked, and I did spank my oldest one. Not now, but like when he was smaller, I did like smack his hand. And I did have some instances where I did yell at him. Not a lot, but I was young and, I didn't grow up in a good home. So me looking at that now, like I take that into account, you know what I mean? So I'm like, it's 2026 with all the tools, all the information that we have now regarding what hitting children does to them. Like, there is no reason why anybody should be spanking their kids. And that you could take this as an opinion, but I think it's very debatable. There's really no debate because the science is there. And, people like to say, because like there were some comments on there that said that, oh, like, no, your children need to fear you and this and this and that. or oh, it's not spanking, or you're not beating your child. So, or beating your child is illegal, spanking is not. And then comments like that. But like, yeah, basically your children need to fear you, and that they need to know that blah blah blah, who's boss pretty much, and they need to listen to you and respect you. And yeah, that it'll, I grew up and I'm doing fine, the typical, response I feel like I hear the most. And I was just like, it's kind of crazy. I'm like, I personally don't think it's necessary. And I think we've learned, and thanks to us seeing us in each other in real time, how how we are really not okay. Like, and you think about and you start dissecting like your childhood, and you will see that it was detrimental to us. It wasn't great. The spanking was not what made us good people. I don't think it had anything to do with it, because the majority of us got spanked, and most people turned out not okay. Some people turned out great. And I think it has nothing to do with the spanking, and I don't think it's beneficial whatsoever. So, to me, in my eyes, I see that as you need healing, and you need, you have a lack of control, because there are other ways that children can be disciplined. And I don't mean in the nice, oh, don't do that, or la la la. No, no, I mean like major, I feel like, I don't know, I'm getting deja vu right now, but anyway, so I wanted to read a couple definitions or things that I found that it says that what it does, spanking. So neurological impact. So it's MRI show that spanking alters neural responses to environmental stimuli. It can create psychiatric disorders. So increased likelihood of mood disorders, anxiety, and personality disorders in adulthood. Let's see. So studies show its detrimental effects closely mirror the psychological trauma of abuse. Increased aggression. Rather than suppressing bad behavior, frequent physical punishment is directly linked to increased aggressive behavior, antisocial tendencies, and a learned association between violence and resolving conflicts. So, as you can see, none of this is good. So, I think we do ourselves a favor, and our children a favor, and our future society a favor by taking this into consideration. Long gone are the days where we don't have this information, and what happens when we deal with trauma, big trauma, little trauma, conditioning, environmental, or whatever kind of thing, it all affects the children, it affects us. And I feel like that's a very loaded subject, but I think it's so important to say, because I've come a long way. And like I said, I did spank my older boy, and I did yell at him at some instances, and I felt really ugly. And I felt like it almost wanted to take me there, to that place. I was physically and sexually abused. And so, it was just, it was like when I did it to my child, it like almost put me in the same spot. Like if I was my stepdad, or I was like my mom, like back in the day, and it didn't feel good. And I couldn't put a name on it. And I didn't know that, you're on, I was unconscious or not self aware, I guess you could say, and didn't know what I know now. So, but I knew what I felt. And I'm like, I felt like that person. And I was being that person, because in my heart and in my gut, I knew that that's something that I didn't want to do. But over time, I felt like, you know what? I don't think it's necessary. So I definitely think it'd be wise for us to do more inner healing, and just really take a good look in the mirror and ask ourselves, why do I feel like I need to inflict pain on my child for them to understand something? Like, those two don't add up. Understanding is in the brain, and also emotionally. And so, basically, what happens is like all you need to do All you need to do is speak to your child or your children in a way that they understand. They think very differently, and so speak to them in a way they understand. Do consequences that mean something to them, and it's okay. Do consequences that are meaningful to them. So things that they really enjoy. All children, all kids, teenagers, whatever, they have things that they like, right? And if you're the type of parent that also checks themselves, because I think this is where it differentiates, where people say it doesn't work when you talk to them, when you ground them, et cetera, et cetera. I think that it is true in some cases, but there's a reason why this is true. There's a reason why your children won't, like when you give them consequences or you talk to them, it's ineffective. It's because the rest of the time, the way you come at them matters. A lot of parents, what they do is they say, I'm your parent, so you're going to listen to me, or you don't talk back to me, or you don't know what you're saying, or I brought you into this world, I can take you out, and la la la. And just because the parent and we're the parent, it doesn't give us the green flag to just go at our children. And so when you put that together, you can see how that would be ineffective, the non-spanking, right? But if you come correct, if you talk to your children well, if you apologize when you're wrong, all these things, then trust me, when it's time to have that talk, when it's time to have that consequence, then you're going to understand that, that you're going to see that your children listen to you and they respect you, and not in the fear, like, oh, I'm scared of her, so I'm not going to do that. They're going to do, oh, I understand her. Or she sees me like, oh, yeah, like I fucked up or I messed up. Or if they're younger, then, the simple consequences, like it does something neurologically, like 100%. How you set the environment does a lot. So in short, sometimes it doesn't work, but that's only because us as parents, we're failing, literally. So with that being said, there is a way to go about it, and there is a way to go about it effectively, like I mentioned. And you have to do your inner work for it to work, because if you think that you're going to just talk to them and when they're in trouble, or the consequence when they're in trouble, and then the rest of the time, like, you're kind of an asshole, you're kind of an asshole, or you don't, like I said, you don't check yourself, or you don't do any type of inner work. So the way you speak to other people, the way they see you behave, act, talk, all that stuff, it's not in congruence. So of course that they notice everything, they absorb everything, they learn everything from you. So it won't work in that aspect. So I think that's why people have this what is this belief, or I forgot the other word, but this belief that doesn't work. But all these things in tandem, it is more work essentially, but it's better work, because you need to be doing the inner work regardless. And again, like, why would you want to set your children up for failure? No, like, we want to set up our children for success, to do better than us, to reach and achieve their wildest dreams, and create this life, this beautiful life, and a beautiful community that affects us, over the long run, and we see all the weird, crazy shit that happens in the world, and this is what happens when we don't work on ourselves, right? And we raise kids, and we impact children and whatnot into a way that they become hurt people that also hurt people again, and this cycle never ends, right? And we don't want that. So again, I don't think spanking is necessary at all. I think it is long in the past and needs to be left in the dust. But one, you have to have a good relationship with your child, and what's it called? Brain fart. Have a good relationship with your child. Speak to them and communicate. Learn how to speak to them. Learn how to communicate if you don't know. And create just an environment where they feel safe, where they can talk to you, where they can make mistakes. And if you get upset, then you have to learn how to regulate. So those are important things to do in order for this to work out. and you want it to work out, right? We want to be better parents. We love our children and we want the best for them, well, most of us. So, yeah, that's what I got to say about that subject. I had a little help with my daughter choosing a subject for today. And yeah, I would like to know your thoughts and your reasoning behind what you think, if you think spanking is appropriate or not. I'm still open to debate. I think it's still important to keep an open mind no matter what, even though I have my opinion. And I know that based on the facts that this is not the way to go anymore. It is not the way. And yeah, we'll see better when we start doing better, y'all. Other than that, I'll leave you guys be. Please leave me a rate and or a review. It will help my podcast so much. I'm streaming everywhere. I have the video on YouTube if you'd like to go see it. Share with a friend, share with your grandma, share with your father, share with your mother. And we'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye.